What it be, what it do? It's your boy, Health 102, helping the environment and you. And today, we got another great recipe, and that is some eggplant pizza. And I know what you're saying, that may be like kind of odd to have an eggplant as like a crust, but with that being said, it tastes a lot like an eggplant parmesan. Though you may be wondering, how in the heck am I gonna use cheese if I'm trying to be vegan? Plant good, vegan mozzarella. It may not be the most healthy considering the fact that it's basically just coconut oil, and it also, guess what it also has too? Tapioca starch. If you saw the cheese sauce recipe for cheese and broccoli, you'll be remembering that ingredient. Along with that too, you'll obviously need here, it's an eggplant. I know, incredible, right? So you'll be needing that in your eggplant pizza. And what kind of pizza would be without the pizza sauce? Along with that too, we're probably gonna need like a few spices just to actually give us some like more Italian flair. And that will be some thyme, oregano, garlic powder, and basil. You usually see basil like on the top of pizzas and stuff like that, but I don't have any fresh basil on me, so I'm just using a dry version to put onto the crust. Along with that too, in order to actually give it an umami sort of taste, we're gonna be using Bragg's liquid coconut aminos. Yeah, I don't even know if it's coconut, but Bragg's liquid aminos. You can use low-sodium soy sauce too. I just have this offhand, so I'm using that for the time being. And anyways, let's get on to the recipe. Okay, so first things first, you're gonna have to thinly slice your eggplant. I know, that sounds like something from Live Leak, but we don't talk about that. So I'd probably say for the width of the actual eggplant slices would probably be like a third to a half an inch thick. So I could probably show the size real quick. Yeah, I would say about like a third of an inch thick. All right, so you could already see already just how much pizza crust we're gonna be getting just from a single eggplant. This one had a particularly large amount of size and girth. And so because of that, it has a huge amount of pizza crust capability. As you can see, like this could be enough for like a whole pizza pie for that matter. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put this to a bowl, and then after that, I will go ahead and show you the next step. Okay, so now I put that away. We're gonna preheat the oven to 450, which is what you're gonna be baking it at. And while the oven is preheating, you could also prep your other toppings. For me, I'm gonna be using some black olives, some pepper, and also I'm gonna be using the mushroom recipe that I used from last video. So if you haven't watched that, watch it already, and I'll be back in a quick second. I still have like 70 degrees to go before it's finally reached 450, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you what to do for the eggplant. Okay, so first get 2 sheet pans and just spray them with a little bit of oil. I'm just using some sesame oil right here. Turns out sprays are actually far lower calorie than if you were to actually pour some on, because the thing is, this actually does a very like small amount, but actually it shoots for a wide area. I'm not sure if the camera can see this, but it ends up like shooting a small amount in a very wide area, and from that it actually causes it to have very little calories. Like you grease the pan with like only like 15 calories of oil. A single squirt of this is around like 2 calories. Okay, now I'm just gonna put the eggplant slices on real quick. Okay, so now that I have the eggplant lined on the sheet pans, I'm gonna put on some of the garlic powder, the thyme, oregano, and basil leaves. I would say you'd probably be using like a tablespoon or 2 tops of each. And then I would also be putting on some liquid aminos or some low-sodium soy sauce. I'd probably say like 2 tablespoons of that too. Or for better reference, I would say like a drop or 2 of the aminos onto each eggplant slice. And then also like a dash or 2 of each spice that I mentioned of the aminos. Okay, there we go. Each slice should kind of be looking like this. Well, the oven recently just turned on 450, so now we're gonna put it into the oven for 11 minutes or so. In the meantime, you could prepare any other sort of toppings, and that I'll do. For me, I'm doing mushrooms, peppers, and black olives. So I'll see you shortly. Okay, so the timer just went off. So now let's just see how the eggplants are doing. Okay, so the eggplants are definitely looking pretty crispy. So now I think it's a great time to go ahead and flip them. I repeat them with the same process I used to grease them. Just simply oil the pan beneath them, and then after that, place on the spices and the low-sodium soy sauce or aminos like last time. Okay, so I just finished up flipping the eggplants and cooking the mushrooms. So now we're gonna go on to the next step, which is topping our pizzas, or eggplants in that sense. And so for that, you will need about ½ cup of tomato sauce. I'm using Rao's homemade margarita pizza because that's what I have offhand. But there is far better brands that you can get that are lower in calories. There's one that I saw that has only 60 calories per ½ cup, and that's a lot better because you'd be saving 20 calories since this is 80 calories per ½ cup. And that's kind of like the whole entire point about health management and weight loss, is that it's all about calories in, calories out. If you have too many calories in a single product or too many calories in something, it's going to be harder to manage your health because of that. Anyways, along with the tomato sauce, you'll also be needing your mozzarella style shreds, or if you're not vegan, you could try doing like a light mozzarella that has even lower calories, which will make this recipe even more lower calorie and also have a bit of a high amount of protein. So who knows, it could be anabolic too if you want. So we're just going to put on around like 1/3 of a cup of this. So I'm just go ahead and do that. So along with the tomato sauce and mozzarella cheese, we're also going to put on the other toppings as well. It could be pepperoni, it could be mushrooms, peppers, which I'm doing right now, black olives, or maybe like some onion or whatever floats your boat, honestly. Who knows, maybe like pineapple on eggplant pizza. If you do, you're absolutely sick. You're disgusting. Anyways, I'm gonna just do that real quick. Another quick tip that I'll mention in this video as well is that you could also use the food scale to measure out your portions too. Because usually for what they say like on the nutrition label, for it being like 28 grams for a 1/4 cup, a far greater or far lesser amount than what is actually said on the nutritional label. I could actually show you real quick. Okay, so for this cheese here, it says that a 1/4 cup is 28 grams. And right now we have a 1/4 cup. So this looks like a 1/4 cup right here. But in reality, it's 31 grams. It may not be much right now, but if you're actually trying to maintain your weight or actually trying to lose weight, this could actually be detrimental, because if you were to have like 3 grams of this, and if you were to be having this every single day, you could have like upwards of like an extra like 1,200, 1,300 grams of this per year if you were to be having this every single day. But this isn't even like for something that's more substantial. Like for example, peanut butter. People would be like digging their spoons in that, like dig out like a 1/4 cup at least, when, or even more than that, like a 1/3 of a cup when they're saying it's 2 tablespoons. And then from that, they could be like looking up like almost like underestimating their calories by like 200 calories per their serving. Pretty insane if you ask me. So that's why I always use a food scale, because then you could actually know exactly how much you're putting onto your plate and how much you're actually having. Okay, that's good. So now we got that. Let's just repeat the same thing for the tomato sauce real quick. Also, quick tip too, if you want to add a little more volume or size to your actual tomato sauce, if you want, you could actually add a little bit of water to it, which I'm doing right now. And from that, you could actually make it even lower. Well, you want to make it lower calorie, you're just using the same amount of stuff, but you're gonna make it last a lot longer. For me, I used 30 grams of water. To further reinforce the taste of the herbs that I use in the actual sauce, and also along with the seasoning, such as the liquid aminos, I'm gonna put in a single dash or 2 of liquid aminos into the sauce. This would actually reinforce that umami taste that you see like in tomato paste and soy sauce. And then I'm just gonna add some basil, just reinforce that taste. Oregano, thyme, and garlic powder. I forgot to turn off the oven. You know what? We roll with it. Okay, so I didn't mean to leave that in there for a solid extra 4 or 5 minutes, but it is what it is. I'm just go ahead and top the pizzas real quick. Okay, so I just finished putting on the toppings onto each and every pizza. So now we're gonna put this back into the oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. Quick fact about eggplant, they're actually really low calorie. Like that big one that I had earlier was only like 190 calories tops. So yeah, I'll be back to you when it's done cooking. Okay, the timer just went off, so I'll show you the finished product real quick. Okay, you know what? I think it definitely needs to get a little bit of a crust, so I'm gonna just broil it at 500 for like 2 to 3 minutes. And I'll be back to you when 2 to 3 minutes have passed. Okay, so 2 minutes have passed, so now time to show you the pizza. Now would you look at that? Now, for only 300 calories without the toppings, you get not one, but two of these entire trays of pizza bites. Let's see how it is. Okay, that tastes like a deep dish pizza. That's exactly how it tastes like. So you coat the eggplant down, it's very soft now, so you can barely taste it. And of what you can taste, it tastes like almost charcoaly and nutty. And if you put it on enough tomato sauce and cheese, they definitely come through and it works really well, especially with the basil, oregano, and thyme. Quick tip, since I did 2 trays here, make sure to broil the second tray as well. Because with that being said, only one of the trays actually got like a nice good amount of crust and color. The other one wasn't as colorful in that sense. Also, quick tip number 2, you could also sprinkle on some nutritional yeast on these too, in order for them to actually get like a Parmesan cheese-esque taste to it as well, with more nutrition and less calories. And now I'll go ahead and actually show it to you up close. Hey, there we go. Anyways, I hope that recipe helped you, and let me know what you guys think of it if you try it. Anyways, see you soon, and maybe see some of my videos too. Bye.